Well, hello, dear people. I think we need more light. Just bear with me a moment.
Huwag yun, attitude. Don't have attitude.
Well, look who we have here. It's the little Misan dog. Hmm. 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 He's a little shy today on camera. Hmm. Interesting keyboard. Loads of lights. Yes. Yes. Hmm. This is the perfect little doggo. Already, he's big. You're a very long girl. Very long girl. She weighs about 5.8 kilos. Hmm. With her, there is no anxiety. She's mm, anti, a natural antidepressant. Dear little dog. Perfect little dog. Metrolattil. Misha. Metrolattil. Peki sulla mamma? Söka mamma. There she is. No, she doesn't go. Wouldn't go to mama. She'll stay here. Okay. Speaking of antidepressants, um, we are talking about anxiety and many pills that are used to treat depression also are can also be used as to relieve the anxiety a person may experience. That's there's something funny going on with the viewer counter. There we go. So today's drink is Leffe Brown, dark, dark brown, hazelnut brown, dark hazelnut brown, caramelish taste. Dark, dark brown, Abbey style ale from Belgium. So I would like to first, first before we go any further, I would like to extend my uh, condolences to the loved ones of those who lost their lives 22 years ago today in New York in the 9/11 attacks. I remember it very distinctively uh, because at the time I lived in Belgium uh, because my mum is um, a retired European Parliament staff interpreter. She retired a year ago now after 25 years of service. No, 26. I think it was after 26 years of service. And I was 15 at the time of the event when that children, it was a private school, 2,000 something students, and um, all the students, well, 99.9999% Um, of the children were the children of the European Union officials. Oi! The children of European Union officials, i.e., the Parliament, Commission, and the Council, diplomats, and NATO officials, children of NATO officials. And actually, a classmate of mine, um, his dad, what was at the time attached to the NATO forces in attached to the NATO headquarters at the time of the events. Um, he is now he ended up being he was a colonel at the time. Now he's a general major in the Finnish defense forces. Um, Charming man. So it was a huge thing. I went on a break after classes. I went to a break to the break room, and there was a TV on. Everyone was watching the TV. And everyone, students and staff, were in a state of shock, utter shock. And when a friend of mine pulled me aside and asked me, "Have you heard? Have you heard what?" I mean, I was confused because I had no idea. I mean, all I knew were that people, that the students and staff were panicking, and everyone was watching the TV. They were glued to the TV. People were crying because their loved ones were in New York. Many NATO officials were stationed in the headquarters. Were in Brussels. Were actually stationed on a work trip to New York at the time. So there were children whose parents were in New York at the time of the attack. So it was I and for several in the following weeks and months there were outside there were the Belgian federal police patrolled the street and the gates, all the entrances to the school grounds, and they had huge machine guns with them, and basically in tactical gear. Uh, and there were that day, parents were I think parents were told that it's better that you pick up your kids from school directly, because we went to school with school buses, and there were if my memory serves me well, there were guards in the buses, and they checked when a bus entered the school grounds both ways. They checked the bus and especially the driver's ID. So then was like one of the times that I felt one of the early memories of when I felt anxiety, horrible anxiety. But it could have been worse. I mean, for the I can't even imagine what those poor people felt whose parents were in New York that day. So my condolences. To anxiety itself, what is it? So anxiety is a natural human emotion, and anxiety is an unpleasant state of inner turmoil and includes feelings of dread over anticipated events. Anxiety differs from fear in that fear is defined by an as is defined as the emotional response to a real threat, whereas anxiety is the anticipation of a future threat. It is it is irrational in many ways. Objectively, it's irrational, but it's not. But it's very real to the person experiencing it. The fears are very real, even though it may be irrational. And it's often characterized, we've seen anxious people like pacing back and forth, somatic complaints, rumination, and so forth, and so forth. Um, According to Thera platform, um, the generalized there are different diagnostic criterias for types of based on the type of the anxiety disorder. So there's there are um, four types of anxiety disorders as per the ICD-10. I won't be going too much into the DSM-5 or the the DSM system because ICD-10 because the ICD codices are widely used more widely used. DSM is used pretty much only pretty much exclusively to the United States of America. So anxiety it can stem from a number of things. It can stem from, say, a divorce, getting sacked, breaking up with your partner, um, losing a loved one, and so forth, or the fear of any of these, or financial financial trouble, go anything from having a small debt to going bankrupt. The four types of anxiety disorders listed in the ICD-10 are generalized anxiety disorder, F41.1, panic disorder, F41.0, social phobia, F40 plus points 1, and specific or isolated phobias are F40.2. Now, in ICD-10, there are letter assignments to different groups or bundles of diseases or similar diseases like neurological, uh, gastrointestinal, inherited and genetic diseases, and so forth, and neurological diseases, etc. But uh, assigned letter F in ICD-10, F something is always a psychiatric diagnosis. For example, according to ICD-10, F64.0 is the um, diagnostic for being transgender, which I got just over 10 years ago. And the F41.1 generalized and anxiety disorder is the most common. It is estimated that 2.7% of adults of general population had GAD in any given year, and 5.7% will experience it at some point in their lifetime. So 1 in 20. 1 in 20 or so. Yeah, 1 in 20. So the diagnostic criteria: at least 6 months with significant tension, worry, and feelings of apprehension about everyday events and problems. At least one symptom out of the following list of items must be present: palpitations or pounding heart, accelerated heart rate, sweating, and trem- trembling of uh, trembling or shaking. Hands going um, shaky, shaky. But this must be differentiated from the trembling or shaking of must be distinguished from make the distinction must be made between essential tremor, which is completely different, has nothing to do with anxiety or mental health as such, um, because essential tremor, no one really knows what what is what the reason is for that. And so let's continue. And third, including those symptoms stated above, at least three other symptoms must be present: dry mouth, difficulty breathing, feeling of choking, chest pain or discomfort, nausea, abdominal distress, feeling dizzy, derealization or personalization, fear of losing control, passing out or dying, hot flushes or cold chills, numbness or tingling sensation. This is a long list, but um, yeah, at least 6 months. Uh, it's not just that you go. It's not that you're anxious about going to a job interview or starting a new job, uh, doing something major for the very first time, um, dr- driving a car, go as I said, and flying and maybe traveling alone for the first time, or completely on your own. For example, when I went to London to see The Warning, that was my first solo trip ever. I've traveled a lot. I mean, a lot. I've visited most of European countries. I've been to Taiwan. I've been to Tunisia. In North Africa, and I've been to all the Scandinavian countries. I mean, I've dipped my feet into the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and the Arctic Sea. So I've traveled a lot. But it was my first time solo going to London, and I had um, bad experiences from airport security from Berlin. I have talked about that on my channel. I will probably talk about that later on, but people who have been watching my channel for a longer period of time probably remember what I'm talking about. Um, and there is also differentiation to be made with GAD, and some throw it around as a like take your ibuprofen and go home kind of thing. Okay, you have GAD, and here's some tranquilizers. Go home. That's not it. There are specific diagnostic criteria for it. Um, and then, okay. By the way, if you have any questions, please let me know. And if I have any issues with, say, audio, video, etc., let me know. So panic disorder. Some of us, I've never had one, a panic attack, but I know people who have, and I've seen people have a panic attack. But and it's not nice to look at. I mean, the person feels absolutely horrible, and there's not that much you can. There is, there's only so much you can do, and there's a difference between a regular panic attack and the panic attack um, that is a result of PTSD. A former coworker uh, is from a wars war war ridden country from Chechnya, and we most of us know what the Russians were up to there. Pretty much, it was something akin to what's going on in Ukraine, but a lot worse. Yeah, a lot worse, and she had PTSD, and I've seen a regular panic attack, and I've seen a PTSD panic attack. A flashback panic attack. So it's not necessarily nice. Um, Panic disorder F41.0 is something that is one of the most scariest things in these anxiety disorders, being described as feeling out of control, possibly like a heart attack. Um, Estimation is that 2.7% uh, of U.S. adults had has had this uh, de- this type of condition. This in the past year. This is actually 20 years old. This data, but actually it's only now that I realize that I picked up some older data. But it's still relevant. And 4.7% uh, experience some panic symptoms of panic disorder at some point in their lives. And then social phobia or social anxiety, we all have this, but all of us have, and at some point, some feeling of social anxiety, but but it's subclinical. It's not something that would be classified as a medical disorder necessarily. And about 12.1% of U.S. adults experience uh, this at some point in their lives. So, like many of the diagnoses um, in in the DSM-5, it's referred to as social anxiety, not social anxiety disorder or social phobia, because the Americans just go with what's easiest typically. Um, so one of the in social phobia or social anxiety disorder, one of the following must be present for the diagnosis of social phobia. These fears must be exhibited in social situations such as speaking in public and enduring gatherings such as parties, meetings, and classrooms. Significant fear of the focus of being the focus of attention or behaving in a way that will be embarrassing or humiliating. Mind you, these are again typically irrational fears. So, am I even live? There's no chat. No one is in the chat. Am I even live? Am I even live? Because uh, apparently, yes, I am. Yes, I am. But because there's no chat. Talk to me. Talk to me, babies. Talk to me, babies. Okay. So the third, pardon, significant avoidance of being the focus of attention, or situations in which there is fear of behaving in an embarrassing or humiliating way. Significant emotional distress is caused by the symptoms or the avoidance of the situation. Symptoms only occur when confronting the anxiety-provoking situation or thinking about it. And at least two symptoms must be of anxiety will be present when confronting the situation. In addition, one of the following: blushing, fear of vomiting, urgency, or fear of urination or defecation. When you're nervous and you need to pee all the time. And I'm not talking about prostate problems with with you middle-aged men, and older men. Uh, the key is a correct diagnosis of social phobia, and then specific or isolated phobias. So I will put some links down in the description. For example, I will put to NHS websites. There's a nice package of links, or not links, but information. Uh, and there will be resources. For example, in the NHS website, there will be there should be uh, uh, resources. And please, if you have any of these disorders, or if you suspect you have any of these disorders, please seek help. You you're entitled to that help. Um, you are so important. You need to seek help. Seeking help has been difficult for me. I've had issues with mental health my entire adult life, and it's not always easy to um, seek help. But when when I have looked for atten- for help, or medical attention, it has helped me tremendously. Therapy, meds, etc. So it's been really, really helpful. Which brings me to my actual rant that I would like to share with you, because as it turns out, Um, as it turns out, two different doctors tried tried to poison me to death. Well, not intentionally, but due to pure negligence and in- ignorance and negligence. See, I I take lithium uh, on a daily basis regularly, and I some due to hitherto unknown reasons, um, I developed swelling in my lower extremities, like front, like ankles and feet. So I and my up on to my knee. So on my left leg and just ankle and foot, um, on the right side. So I was prescribed uh, antidiuretics to remove the excess fluid. It helped, and so it was the prescription was renewed by by a second doctor. But the thing is that they should, when they prescribed the medication, when they wrote the prescription, they should have. I know this because I talked to a psychiatrist today about this. I was referred to the psychiatric clinic um, because of this. Because I this caused this antidiuretic caused me to go into caused caused me to go into a lithium poisoning. There was too much lithium in my body, and I developed a lithium poisoning. But the problem is that the doctors who prescribed me the antidiuretics, the shrink told me that they should have had a ding message on the computer. If you prescribe this if you prescribe this medication to this patient, you should reduce the dose of lithium to half. So I took unknowingly, I took too much lithium for 2 months, and oy, uh, my glasses are all wonky. Mm, hmm, interesting. Oy, hmm. Anyway, I was taking too much lithium unknowingly. I took, and this is just be careful with your medication. Whenever you take medication, be careful. All right, and make sure your doctor knows your that if the said medication is okay or safe for you. Just a moment. Okay, I have no idea what's wrong with my other ones. I need to use worse ones, which isn't nice because I can't see properly on the lower side because I have the what do I call it? I'm the opposite, plus and minus in the same lens. Yeah. But yeah, be careful. And I'm probably gonna write a complaint to both of these. Yeah, bifocal. Yes, bifocal. Yeah, and I'm gonna probably, and I think I should, and I probably will write a official, a formal complaint because it just could have been potentially really dangerous for me. So this is why you should be mindful of your what kind of medications you take. So that always is tend to um, we tend to maybe not question what the doctor says because we maybe um, rely on the fact that the doctors have so and so many years of training behind them. So, and then hence are some kind of um, um, demigods of some sort. I think I may have fixed, maybe. Who knows? But what do you think of this subject? It's an interesting, curious one. Oh, and um, in coming weeks, there will be some more or less permanent change. At least, well, not maybe not permanent, but at least a very very long term changes to my publishing schedules, um, because I'm shifting from working only evening shifts, or um, working only evenings and nights to or working both evenings and nights to working only nights. So that in turn means that there will be, as you have noticed in the recent past, there's been some irregularity in my streaming schedule, and this is because I've been working nights, and there've been a few Fridays where I just haven't had the energy after work because it's really hard for me to work. It's meant to psychologically challenge, hard. Um, for me, work working evenings or day shifts because there are actually people that I have to deal with. So, with someone with social anxiety and autism spectrum, it's not that easy as you might imagine working. So that is how it is. Okay, do we have anything on Discord? Uh, not really, no. Not really. Nothing special on Discord for this live stream. That's how it goes. But I think it's time for me to go. I have a day. I've been really, really tired. I have a day off tomorrow, as well. Two. I have 2 days off now, and then on Wednesday I have this meeting with the doctor from the clinic where our uh, our employer buys the healthcare services. So we'll have a doctor who's a specialist in work life healthcare, or whatever it is in English, and telling my boss off that Haiti needs only uh, night shifts due to health reasons. So there has to be this meeting before it can be official. So I can't just go and tell my boss that, the doctor says this and this, so I want this and this. No, it has to be the doctor tell the boss themselves. So anyway, there has been Bertil has also been here, and Mizan. And I would like to thank you for watching this episode. It's been fun making this video, and I will see you next time. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.